Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael Fanning. This is Warm Up 460. And I was listening to a TED Talk just yesterday, and it was called The Gap Between Planning and Doing. And I'm going to put a link to it, so please watch it. But have you ever wondered why you have the best intentions in the world of making something happen, so you build a plan, and then you don't execute, right? And you don't execute. And there's simple little things that she talks about in this TED Talk. But what she boiled it down to is she talked about our present self, right? And our future self. And these two people live inside of you, right? You have a present self and you have a future self. Simple example, I'll use my son as an example. My son has a present self and a future self. And at nighttime, his present self, right? He's just kind of chilling, hanging out, but then his future self will speak up and his future self will say, I'm gonna get up really early tomorrow morning. I said, okay. And that's his future self talking, because his future self says, I want to be somebody who gets up earlier, right? So his future self is present right there, talking, having a conversation. Then morning hits, and his current self shows up, and his current self says, oh, hit the snooze button, don't get up, right? And they battle. There's this battle inside of them. And you might have experienced this, right? How often do you allow your current self to override your future self? And what she says in there is the reason why, it's because we give more priority to our current self than we do to our future self, because we don't focus on where we want to go. We focus on where we've come from and where we are today. And if we don't have a vision of where we want to go, then we're not giving our future self a voice. We're not giving our future self motivation. We're not giving our future self drive to override the current self voice. And you have these inside of you right now. And that is the gap. And the gap between planning and the gap between doing is the battle that the current self and the future self have with each other. And it's simple little things. Like, for example, your future self may say, hey, I want to get in great shape. But your current self says, hey, getting up really early and going to the gym doesn't feel so good, right? And so the future self will make the plan, right? The future self will make the plan, but the current self will squash the plan. And so what you have to ask yourself is, how are you programming so that the future self has a stronger voice? And the way we program that the future self has a stronger voice is through prioritization and putting priority into becoming that person and not focusing on here and what's behind us. That's kind of the critical piece. Watch her video because she talks about it. And so if you find yourself struggling with making a plan but not executing, maybe you're giving too much priority to your current self voice, and you need to give more priority to your future self voice, and let that future self really control the actions that you choose to take. And also, do you have a vision of your future self? You know, what does your future self look like? What does your future self do? How does your future self show up? How does your future self engage with others, right? Think about those things. Think about the stuff. And this is all stuff that we've talked about, that I've been talking about for 400 warm-ups, so to speak. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Watch the TED Talk. You guys be awesome and help somebody. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.